काम 25 है, बोले दो
25 दिन है,
गेम ओवर.
बचा लेना अपने से.
Sacred games. How is it?
It's at least good.
Let's start with what is it for people who have not seen.
Oh yeah, the people who haven't seen it, it's like Anurag Kashyap woke up one day and said to himself, you know what, Gangs of Wasseypur wasn't hardcore enough. And then he called up Netflix and asked them for money to remake Gangs of Wasseypur, and well, that's the show. It's a remake of Gangs of Wasseypur, but with a lot more
But it's based on a
edginess.
book, right?
It's based on a book, but I've been scrolling through the subreddit for the TV show, and everyone's saying that it's very loosely based on the book. They've added in a lot of things like politics. So basically, Anurag Kashyap just ran with it. He really loves adding in.
He doesn't stick to the script, right?
Yeah, he doesn't stick to anything. He really likes to add in layers of politics, corruption. The story of the show is that this guy called Guy Tonde, who has been in hiding for a decade, more than a decade. People haven't
Something like that.
something like that people really don't know where he's been for a while. He decides to put his trust into this cop played by Saif Ali Khan, called Sartaj, and starts telling him a story about how there are 25 days left before Mumbai is eventually destroyed, and that Saif Ali Khan has 25 days to save the city, otherwise everyone's gonna die except
Trivedi.
yes,
His name
Trivedi, the
is
mystery
Trivedi.
man, yeah, except Trivedi. So that's the general plot, but there's much more in the show. So what did you like about it?
Finally, someone from India stepped up to make a show that's somewhat being compared to the likes of Narcos.
Yeah,
So that's a big deal. And also, Narcos is based on a true story.
exactly.
I don't think this is based on a true. Although, you can relate things to certain political parties and whatnot.
It's been inspired by
Yeah.
events that actually happened.
Yeah.
The
but
book might have.
throughout a very long period of time.
Yeah.
But it does not have that solid backing that Narcos has or Troy has. It's not like American companies haven't tried doing Indian originals.
Yeah.
Like, what was that Amazon Prime original on that cricket betting?
Inside Edge.
That was terrible.
I haven't seen it. I don't know. I didn't want to see
I don't
it.
think anyone should watch it. Like, they have Vivek Oberoi in it, and he acts exactly the way he did in Krish 3. It was Krish 3, right? That movie?
Yeah.
Kal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he acts exactly like that. His dialogue delivery and
So he acts like Heath Ledger when he portrayed the Joker.
लोग कह रहे हैं कि काल जो है वो आज के दौर का, आज के ज़माने का गब्बर सिंह है या मोगैम्बो है. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये जो कंपैरिजन्स हो रहे हैं, कभी कोई इंटरनेशनल लेवल का परफॉर्मेंस कह रहा है कि जो विवेक ओबरॉय ने काल परफॉर्म किया है वो हीथ लेजर का जोकर जो बैटमैन में परफॉर्म किया था वैसे है. तो ये
I have to watch this show now, dude. Come on. You can't just tease me like that.
So that was terrible. So they've tried it before.
So what else did you like about it so far? Like, just list down things. What you enjoyed the most?
Nawaz.
Yeah, he was great.
Saif was great.
Saif
For a
was
change
great.
after a very long time.
You don't get to say that very often because, like,
Well,
just
Saif
don't.
said,
It's
yeah.
Saif, like he plays himself most of the time. But lately, I think if you've seen Kala Kandi, he's really been letting loose and letting the directors do whatever they want to do with him. Oh yeah, so the cinematography of the show is pretty great. There's some very aesthetically pleasing shots in the first episode itself. Like, there's one shot in particular when Guy Tonde is one of those flashback sequences where he's in a boat and it's just like, just beautiful, just great. And apart from that, what else did you think was really good in the show?
I think the way they went back and forth.
In time to explain the story?
Yeah. I felt that there was a void where I couldn't understand how Gaitunde was still guiding Sartaj Singh.
I don't think he was guiding Sartaj
Like,
at
how
all.
was Sartaj privy to certain information?
I didn't ever feel that because I was looking out for the same thing. But after a while, I just accepted that this Gaitunde story has been narrated to us, not Sartaj. Sartaj was only following up clues that he kept finding through time. And otherwise, in the middle, if you remember, not in the middle, near the end, like Sartaj completely goes off track from the case. He completely disappears into something else entirely. But that event somehow sort of leads him back to the case. I guess we can talk about. Can we talk about spoilers? It's been a week.
We should.
We should?
Yeah, everyone's watched it by now.
Okay, so if you remember near the end of the show, I think the final 2 episodes, where Sartaj is just doing this other case with Katekar? Katekar? And it's a completely different...
Havildar, right?
Yeah, his partner, sort of. And who's just great character in the show, great acting, great everything. It was so sad to see him go. It's so disheartening, which is really nice, which I've always noticed in other TV shows, that you don't put all of your eggs in one basket. So you don't give all the good traits to your main characters, the star cast. You have a nice side character which can take some of the lighter aspects and the audience can feel attached to. So I was goddamn heartbroken when he just died so suddenly, and it was so effective because
the way they killed him.
Yeah,
it was in that Theka.
Yeah,
the
just
guy
happens.
And Sartaj saw it coming.
Yeah, he saw it, but it was a split second. It was he sees it and it just happens. He's like, oh my god.
He couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's it happens so many times. Sometimes you see something happen, and then in retrospect you think, I saw it, I knew what it was, I could have probably avoided it, but I couldn't, I didn't.
Yeah, then you saw how Sartaj killed the boy, right?
Yeah, so exactly.
He did exactly what Parulkar had done at some point.
So that was his
evolution.
He moved past his shortcomings, the things that were holding him back, that, oh no, he's a kid, he was surrendering. No, they're all animals. If they're in there, they have the potential to be, killers. And it was one of those people with that potential who eventually did kill Katekar. Which was that, I think that was a very subtle realization. They don't spell it out for you. This is just my interpretation of it. It was very subtle the way they showed it. It was just how they cut those 2 shots together. They shot the same way, in a hallway, and that was. And
really, the setting was the same as well.
Yeah, the setting was the same as well. The guy running behind him was a kid, and he's seeing the same thing. That was a really, really good shit. But coming back to where we were, Piche, I got sidetracked just like he did in the show, and he eventually came back to he's going through Katekar's wallet, where someone had said कि ये अपनी बीवी की फोटो के पीछे जोया मिर्जा.
Yeah, I think that was, I don't know.
Probably
Mirza. Yeah.
Zoya Mirza की फोटो छुपा के रखता है, and then he sees the photo and then it hits him. I've seen this face before, and he goes into the files of the Jojo pimp.
Mascarenas.
Yeah, the pimp, and sees that one of the women in her files was Zoya, and then he comes back to the case. So he's never actually aware of these connections. Once he sees these connections, then we are informed ki, okay, this house. Only after that there is that flashback happen when Gaitonde is shown in jail, and he's completely beaten up, and then Zoya comes in and gives him food or something like that, and
food and more
fries and stuff, refreshments. And that's when we see what her connection was, because Sartaj really doesn't know yet, or it's not that important that what she did back then. Maybe we learn more later. But when he's talking to her, she just sort of he goes and talks to Zoya in person, and she just informs him, and then I think the flashback happens. So it's a pretty clever show if you really think about it, because.
But I didn't like Zoya.
Even I didn't like Zoya. She was sort of the weakest link along with Radhika Apte, which we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
Even I thought Radhika Apte, she's not coming back because but Radhika Apte's character was very, and I think the way she's portrayed was on purpose. They've shown her as this impulsive, like I want to get out of the desk job, like, you know, because it's not just a
No,
man's
I
world.
understand what the directors wanted to do, but I think as an actress, she could have pulled it off way better. In a much better way. Like,
Sure, like I didn't feel anything for a character, and I don't think that was all the writer's fault.
No, not the writer's fault.
Exactly.
I think the casting could have been a little
A
better.
little better.
Like, she was a little shallow. So was Zoya.
But
you-
Zoya still has more. Like, we don't know her completely
Yeah,
yet.
and I think that other girl who was kidnapped,
The other girl who was kidnapped.
I think the one Bunty liked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think she did a better job.
Yeah,
than-
she had a much more compelling story,
Yeah.
even though you didn't know much.
And her expressions like showed what she was going
Yeah.
through. Zoya
That was a
very-
great arc, by the way.
Zoya was very Nargis Fakri like in Rockstar.
I guess
Like,
that's
the
what they've
same-
shown her as,
same
this very
express-
superficial. Like, the thing is, they actually wrote into the show that she gets a face job done. Like,
Okay.
they
I
say
don't know.
they wrote that into the show. They said that he paid for the face operation and stuff. That's why she looks all like cut and like
Yeah, but she was
very angular.
It was still terrible acting.
I mean, that's what happens when you freeze your face. You freeze your face. You can't act. And even her
Mm,
like her
true.
side story with Koki mix North a lot wasn't too compelling because he was
Yeah.
just like, मैं सब sort कर दूंगा. मैं सब snort कर दूंगा. I was just like, you had to make this. You had to show me this joke. Where I could have seen more of either Nawaz or Saif doing a brilliant job, but you had to make that one joke. And I don't think that plot's coming back because by like Zoya gets done with that, like she washes off her hands clean off of that
Yeah,
little
yeah.
problem.
No, but she does have Pakistani passport, so I don't know what's coming back. Because I don't know.
That's another thing which is great about this show, that there's still so many.
Because what they uncovered were a lot of guns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they will eventually show a link to ISI in some way or the other.
Possibly. That's what
And Zoya has a Pakistani passport.
it might be related, but I just thought that's just them showing that, oh, this girl is not who she claims to be. She came from like a distant.
Yeah, she's not Indian. She was.
She's definitely not Indian.
Afghan. She was
Yeah.
Afghan.
She's Afghani. Yeah, so Zoya's arc may have more to it. It may not, and that's the great thing. I think we should end it on this note. Unless there's more to talk about, then we can keep talking. But the last good thing I thought was like really well done in the show is that it's not complete yet, so you don't have all the answers. There is very minimal hand holding throughout the show.
Yeah,
You're
that's
left to
fine.
figure things out, but you do because the show takes its time. It's not rushing through things.
Also, you know what I feel? I think that it's very wrong of us to compare this show
To Narcos.
to any Hollywood show actually,
Yeah.
because that's another side of the planet. That's a different style of shooting videos. Because one of the reviews I read had this thing that, like, it was an American paper saying that the problem with this show is that there's too many Indian references. I don't think that's a problem with this show. I just think it's a unique side of this show that it has too many Indian references. And it's agreed that it's made for an international audience also, but the primary audience is still Indian. So you can't disregard that. So it's a different taste of, different style of shooting videos, and I liked it.
No, I think that's not a very fair comment to make. What the guy made, that too many Indian references, because I'm pretty sure what he's talking about is
It's their lack of knowledge about Indian
It's even my
culture.
lack of knowledge about Indian culture, because I think what he's generally referring to is the titles of the episodes themselves, which I'll just pull up right now. The fact that Gaitonde is narrating his life from the start by saying that मैं अश्वत्थामा हूँ भगवान, And I don't know the story of Ashwathama at all.
Which just makes it more interesting.
Exactly, to watch.
It's not a defect.
So I don't feel lost. I feel more invested because I'm putting up the episodes. Yeah, it's called Ashwathama is one, and then there Halhala, Atapi Vatapi, Brahmatya, Sarama, Pretakapla, Rudra, Yayati. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of them, but
if you look at the subtitles, I think there was a lot of effort made by whoever was in charge of subtitling all of them to
translate it really well onto the
so just get rid of all the references and make it easy for an international audience to understand. But obviously there will be a lot lost in translation. A Spanish guy watching Narcos would get much more out of it
than we would.
Right? So that kind of comment is I don't think we should pay much
it's
attention.
not valid because I still think he was just talking about the fact that it refers a lot to Indian mythology,
which is alright
because honestly even I went in blind because I had no knowledge about this. The only
what they mean to say is Greek mythology chalega, Indian mythology nahi chalega.
Yeah. And I think what he also may have been referring to is the Babri Masjid, the Mumbai riots, maybe
but these are all international events.
No, state of emergency. Government,
these are all huge international events.
Government logo kaat rahi thi.
Yeah, that reviewer must have been really bad with GK.
Yeah,
because these are very big events.
And it's if you're confused, nothing is non-Googleable about these things. Just look it up on the web. If you're confused, then don't be lazy. Just research it. I mean, you do it about fan theories about Sherlock and shit. You research the crap out of those shows. Give that time to your own shows or Indian shows as well. I'm talking about the general audiences, not just international views, but national views as well. If you can give your time to looking up Sherlock theories, how did he survive the jump at the end of season 2, all that stuff. Maybe if you feel sort of lost in the political references and the mythological references, maybe give the show your time, look into it, and you'll be surprised. There's a lot of stuff that goes into crafting crafting so much story, which is also connected to other stories with Indian mythology and politics. And
we could actually do a video someday, breaking down the nuances of Sacred Games, the references of Sacred Games.
It'll be a long video.
It'll be a very
but it would be a very fun video.
We could do it episode wise.
Yeah, because I think on Indian we should say that I don't think we're getting a season 2 anytime soon, because it'll take time if they want to keep up the quality and want to make sure that it's consistent. Because I thought one thing about the first season was it was very consistent.
Yeah.
It was all evenly
all the
paced.
episodes were even.
Yeah, there was no really fast episode and then just
I think one episode was small. I think there was one episode which was 30 minutes or something.
Acha? I didn't really notice. I just
one episode was a little smaller compared to the other.
Yeah, but the runtime may have been uneven, but the pacing was very even.
Even when it took off, they made sure to bring it down to a certain level. They kept the level. The editing was really good.
Yeah, again, all that work which is usually ignored by Indian cinema, which is the cinematography, the editing, the sound design, the soundtrack, not the songs, the soundtrack.
Even the color grading, it was it was not overly saturated or anything.
All these things were very, very well done. The soundtrack especially is very unique, very very.
And Indian. I loved it. I did not remember seeing any product placements.
Nothing.
Usually Indian.
Nope, nothing.
Indian soap does this thing where they put in something or the other.
Yeah.
That would have been very weird seeing a product.
It'd be very strange. It wouldn't fit, and I like that they kept things small scale. The use of CGI was minimal. They said that okay, we want to keep it ground as possible, so let's make it really, really practical. We don't need a lot of CGI explosions.
That was CGI, the one the place they burnt the.
Yeah, that was
garbage
just the
bin.
one scene.
Yeah.
Just the one thing. Even I thought that stuck out. But other than that, they tried to stick to reality. They shot it in, the gullies of Bombay.
Yeah.
They went to I think he was in Banaras first. Like when Gaitonde was a kid. Where was he?
I think I'm not sure.
जब वो कहता है कि जब वो बच्चा दिखाया
Yeah,
है,
his dad was a priest.
his dad was a priest. Was it Banaras? I'm not sure, but they shot it on
It was, I don't know.
very small, tiny locations to make it feel even more like ये हुआ था.
Oh, and the part where they show that Gaitonde killed his mother.
Oh, that was a weird revelation. That entire jail sequence was very
Yeah.
intense, and I don't know how I felt, but it was a very weird sequence. Like I can't even describe it. It was nerve-wracking and terrifying, disgusting all at the same time, and it was very well done too. Some things you didn't like, you want to comment on that?
The actresses, except Coco did a good job.
Cuckoo did a good job. I did feel like what they did with the character was for social commentary purposes and very short-lived, just like the character, and which was sad. But she was good. Radhika Apte was bland.
I did not like Radhika Apte
But
at
I
all.
still feel that was by design for some reason. I don't know. The woman who played the TV actress was great. I'm forgetting her name, but she was very, very good. Her story was really compelling, and it was even simpler than everyone else's story. But you really felt for her. And anything else which was bad? I think the action direction could have been slightly better. But that's just me nitpicking because I wanted like thoda action, because that's just my like थोड़ा मसाला चाहिए मुझे like अपने show में. But ठीक है. I wasn't upset.
I really like the dialogues, like the part where he tells Parolkar कि सर आप भी मैं अपना काम कर रहा हूँ, आप भी अपना काम करो, अच्छा लगेगा.
It's like सर मैं जहाँ भी हूँ अपना काम कर रहा हूँ, आप भी अपना काम करो, पाप धुल जाएंगे.
That was really good.
Yeah.
And what was Parolkar's?
Majid.
Yeah, Majid. I think Majid was in a very weird position for a very long time.
Yeah, and even he starts to, and these are, I know that when you start the episode, you see them as stereotypical, like cliched, like staple characters, but because it's like an 8-hour long series, they all have time to grow, so they grow above those things. And the best part is that the show has so much room to grow because there's still so much story left. So many questions that still need to be answered.
Yes.
And hopefully season 2 will also be pretty good.